Okay. So I was reading a little bit about, I study astrology, and we just moved into Pisces season where the sun moves into the astrological sign of Pisces. And I was reading about Pisces in this book, The Inner Sky by Stephen Forrest. And there's this passage that I thought was just so interesting in how it encapsulates this concept that we talk about all of the time in yoga in particular and in these different cultures. And I'm going to read it to you. It says that Buddhist teachers in High Tibet counsel their students to regard the world as a dream. People, events, relationships, even the mountains themselves are all to be seen as mirages, a hidden play of insubstantial images in the mind. In the West, we often misinterpret the Buddhist idea. We take it to mean that the world is not real, that its atoms and molecules are illusionary, a tough notion to swallow, especially when you've just stubbed your toe on an illusory bedpost. To those Buddhist teachers, the reality or unreality of the world is not the issue. The point is deeper. It is a recognition that we do not experience the world directly. We experience an awareness of the world. An awareness, something cerebral, something in our heads. What we take to be the world is an electrochemical phenomenon occurring in the folds and creases of our brains, only a play of images, only a dream. For most of us, that kind of knowledge is of no practical use. Whether we were bitten by a dog or bitten by the illusion of a dog does not concern us. We hurt either way. For Pisces, that knowledge is everything. Why? Because Pisces is the symbol of consciousness itself. Traditionally associated with mysticism, Pisces' evolutionary pathway represents a fundamental alteration in the way the mind operates. A shifting of gears. Instead of observing the world, Pisces observes the mind observing the world. The objective universe evaporates. All that remains is a vast network of subjective reactions. All that remains is a dream. The Piscean endpoint, a realization, a subtle reorientation of the mind. A reorientation that changes nothing and yet changes everything. It is the knowledge that wherever we go, whatever we do, whatever we see, we can meet only one inescapable reality, our own consciousness. And so basically what this describes, and I'm just going to do this thing on my computer real quick so I don't forget. Basically what it describes is this idea that we talk about in yoga called the witness, where we are asked to sit and come to our mat and observe ourselves as if we were something outside of who we are. So we're going to play with that a little bit today. So you can take a comfortable seat and move the flesh away from your sitting bones and sit up nice and tall. And close your eyes. And as we close our eyes, we draw our awareness more inward. We take that withdrawal, that step back from the outer world, from these dreams and illusions, from our perception of reality. And we're asked to tune into what's happening in our inner world. In astrology, this would be the shift from the sun, that which we can see and shine light on, that's outward, and the moon, that which reflects back to us our own inner nature. And then we ask ourselves to observe, to notice our physical body. It never ceases to amaze me how possible it is to go through a long length of time without truly being aware of how our body is feeling. How easy it is to be disembodied in our day-to-day lives. And so when we sit on our mat and close our eyes and turn inward, we can begin to notice how the body feels. You can draw down a sense of grounded heaviness to the lower half of the body. Letting the sitting bones, the hips, thighs, legs, all get very heavy on the ground. And then as you inhale, lengthen up through the spine with the crown of the head, rise up towards the sky. Take your shoulders up, back and down. Bring the very center of your head right over the tip of your tailbone so that you're aligning your central channel, creating more ease and open flow of energy. Here, can you drop back once again? Can you notice yourself, noticing your body? Can you begin to notice these layers of awareness to the mind? In yoga, they're called koshas: physical body, the mind, the thinking body, the breath, the body of prana. And then that part of ourselves that's, it can be referred to as that light within us, that spark of the divine, our soul, that part that's truly us. But also somehow separate. And it's through our practice on our mat that we come home to that place. We come home to our own hearts, our own divine spark, where everything else can kind of fade away, fall away, where we can let go of our identities and stress of our day-to-day lives, that physical reality that the Buddhists regard as an illusion. And then we notice when we start to move away from that place too, when we start to get caught up in our thoughts and the day-to-day, daily grind, our to-do list, what we like and dislike. And we just lovingly guide ourselves back to the breath, back to the body, back to the present moment, and back to the practice of observing and witnessing the self. Go ahead and bring your hands together in front of your heart. I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. Perhaps it's just that, to witness, to notice, to cultivate this awareness of ourselves as something separate from our reality. Or maybe it's to do that off of your mat. The next time you get angry, step back and observe and notice what's really happening. Can we do that the next time we want to disassociate and numb out? Let's begin our class and seal in our intentions with 3 cleansing breaths. Take a deep breath in and let it go with a sigh. 2 more like that. Go ahead and gently bow your head to your heart. Slowly open your eyes, release your hands. We'll come down onto our backs to start and move any of your props off the mat. And come to lay down with your knees bent, feet on the ground. And then take the soles of your feet together, your knees wide in Supta Baddha Konasana. You can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a moment and relax your jaw. Let your lower jaw move away from your upper jaw. Soften your tongue and let your tongue get heavy and wide on the lower palate of your mouth. Widen the corners of your eyes and let your eyeballs descend back into their sockets. Soften your cheeks, unfurrow your brow and forehead. See if you could allow the tension of the day to just melt off of you. And here, can you see what you notice? What you observe? On your next inhale, bring your knees back up to center. Extend your legs long, reach your arms overhead, take a full body stretch. And then walk your feet over to the right corner of your mat, cross your left ankle on top of your right. Take your right hand to your left wrist and arc your body over to the right. So coming into banana, and we're in this crescent moon shape. Just allowing the left side body to get long and lengthen. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale, uncross your ankles, come back through center. And then we'll switch sides. Walk your feet over the left side of your mat, cross your right ankle over the left. Take your left hand to your right wrist, breathe in and exhale, arc your body over to the left. Try to keep both shoulders on the ground, both hips on the ground. Just a few more breaths here. Inhale back through center. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, hug your right knee into your chest. Draw your knee in so that there's some pressure on the thigh, so that you're compressing the joints. Notice what's happening in your shoulders. Can you drop them back and down? Take your right knee and your left hand, right arm out to the side in a cactus or to a T. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, twist. Guide your knee across your body, over to the left, look out over your right shoulder. So this concept of awareness and of consciousness, or consciousness observing the mind. It's very Piscean concept, the spiritual practice, Buddhist teaching, yogic teaching. Reminds me a lot of what's called The Work by Byron Katie, where she developed a series of questions to, in essence, notice your reality and your attachment to it. Inhale, come back up to center, and exhale, go ahead and release your right leg down. Take a moment, pause, feel side to side. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, and exhale, hug your left knee into your chest. And so the questions that she asks are, the first is it true? So for example, you would take a thought that you're having that's troubling you, like, for me, it usually goes something like, no one else is doing the dishes. I'm the only one who does this. So then you ask yourself, is this true? And you really think about it. Go ahead and take your left knee in your right hand. Left arm comes out to the side. Take a breath in, exhale, twist, guide your knee across your body over to the right. Look out over your left shoulder. And so in my case, it would be like, no, it's not true, right? Other people do the dishes. They just don't do them as often as I do, or maybe not as frequently as I would like, or as well as I would like them to. And her next question is, can you absolutely know that it's true? Like if you're like, yes, it's true, no one else does the dishes. Like, can you really know that that's the truth? And then she says, how do you react? What happens when you believe that thought, when you attach to the story that we're telling ourselves? And then the last question is, who would you be without that thought? Like if we didn't attach to it, what would happen? And it's this concept of really observing from a third party perspective, as if we could be perched on the ceiling of our own reality. Like if we could be the camera person of our own narrative and life story, what would we see objectively? What would the truth be compared to the truth in our own mind? Inhale, come back up to center. Hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little massage here on your low back. And then go ahead and roll to your right side, come all the way up. Set up for cat-cow in the tabletop position, wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Move through a few rounds of cat-cow on your own breath. And lately I've been noticing this feeling of pressure in my day-to-day, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's already this time of the day. It's already 4:30 and I need to clean the kitchen so that I can start cooking, so that we can have dinner by this time, so that then this next thing can happen and the day can stay on track. Really feeling a lot of self-imposed pressure to stay on this track that I've created. And then observing as an outsider, observing from the third person, like, well, who would you be without that pressure? And is it true? Do you have to do it right now? What would happen if you didn't? Or can you relax about doing it? Like, yes, get it done, but it doesn't have to be like so urgent, so vital, and important. What would happen if I relaxed those expectations? Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And then from here, walk your hands a couple of inches forward, a couple of inches wider. We'll move through marauding bear. So big hip circle, whichever direction feels best. You could even drop your head or do some neck rolls. Get your shoulders more involved. See what feels best on your body. When you come back to center, go ahead and change direction. Inhale, come back to a neutral spine. And find child's pose, knees wide, big toes together. Send your arms out in front of you, forehead to the ground. Inhale, walk your hands in just enough so that you can thread the middle. Take the right arm underneath the left, come down onto your shoulder, right ear to the ground. Press into your left hand. Inhale, sweep your right arm up, twist open. Release, and we'll switch sides. Take the left arm threaded underneath the right and down to the left shoulder, left ear to the ground. Press down into your right hand. Inhale, switch your left arm up. Twist open. Exhale, release. Come to all fours, and we'll move into a Vashisthasana variation here. So from tabletop, pivot your right foot out off of your mat. Extend your left leg long. Bring all of your weight into your right hand. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe a little back bend. You could keep your arms straight up to the sky or reach it out in line with your ear. Exhale, release. Come back to your tabletop and second side. Pivot your left foot out off of your mat. Extend your right leg straight out. Bring all the weight into your left hand. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. could stay like this or extend your right arm out in line with your ear. Breathe. Exhale, release, and then find your way into downward facing dog. When you come into down dog, you can pedal out through your feet, bending one knee, sending the opposite heel towards earth. On your next inhale, come forward to a high push-up. Press out through your heels. Press your thighs up towards the sky. Lengthen the tailbone towards your heels. Soften right behind your heart. Sternum lengthens forward. As you exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, come up into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts as you inhale. Lunge it forward as you exhale. Step your foot all the way up in between your hands until your right knee stacks over your right ankle. Press your left thigh in towards the sky. Hug the legs in towards each other. Couple of breaths like this. Keep your left hand down and now sweep your right arm up. Exhale, release, step back, downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa here, you can always stay in down dog or hand child's pose. From downward facing dog, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, lunge it all the way forward. Take your time to set up your lunge, press your right thigh up to the sky, hug the legs in towards each other. Lengthen out through the sternum. Keep your right hand down, inhale, sweep your left arm up. Exhale, release. This time, step your back foot forward. Exhale as we fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway to a flat back. Exhale, lift your belly and fold. And do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow in. Press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, bow forward and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway to a flat back. Exhale, big step back to your left leg. Move back into a lunge. This time, bring your back knee down. So you could pad the knee here, you could double up your mat. You could use a blanket. You want to be on the base of the thigh, not on the kneecap. Maybe blocks help here, especially if you have tight quads. And just a few breaths. when we come into these longer held postures, when we're not just flowing from pose to pose and vinyasas, we're given more of an opportunity to draw the awareness inward and to witness ourselves. To observe the mind, observing the mind. And to see what comes up, what kind of thoughts come up, when we start to drift out of the present moment, distract ourselves. Bring your right hand sit inside of your right foot, and then toe heel your right foot over towards the right. We're gonna come into lizard lunge. So you may stay upright just like this, or maybe use blocks under your forearms, or come all the way down to the ground. And then once you arrive in a place that you could hold, commit to be in for a period of time, then see if you could soften right behind the heart. Throw the shoulder blades onto the back, melt the heart down towards the ground and breathe. Begin to slowly deepen your breath. And then from here, make your way up and back into downward facing dog. Take your time getting there. When you arrive in down dog, maybe you can pedal out through your legs again. Inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen halfway, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, take a big step back with your right leg. Bring your right knee down. And then just take a few breaths here in the low lunge. Feel the parts of your body that are connected to the ground, and let them get heavy. Good, isometrically hug the legs in towards each other and let the pelvis move down and forward. And then take your left hand, bring it inside of your left foot until feel your left foot over towards the left side of your mat a little bit more. Find your variation of lizard lunge here. Come down onto your forearms on blocks or on the ground, or stay upright on fingertips. And then once you find that position, that shape that you could be in for a length of time, can you soften the heart? Can you use your breath to find a steady stillness to keep you centered and calm in the midst of a shape that may not feel comfortable in your body? Just a few more breaths here. Go ahead and slowly make your way up and back into down dog. You can move through a vinyasa here. Inhale forward to a high plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale into cobra, dog. Exhale down to facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Exhale as you fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Take a wide stance on your mat with your feet parallel. So you could extend your arms out in line with your shoulders. Try to line up your ankles into your wrists. And then interlace your hands behind your back in Yoga Mudra. Notice as we do this, the tendency is for the belly to kind of disengage, for the rib cage to pop forward. So see if you could knit your low ribs in, engage your core, kind of picture threads from your ribs to your hip bones tightening up. Keep that, but take your shoulders up, back and down, and broaden your collarbones. Keep all of that. Sternum rises as you breathe in, and as you exhale, fold forward, wrap the arms overhead, and resist your shoulders away from your hips. Release the clasp of your hands. Bring your hands down to the ground, and if that's not available, you can use a block, but you want to be able to get the whole palm of your hand flat to something. And place your right hand down right in front of your face. Bring your left hand to your low back and feel that it's level, that it's like a flat tabletop you can balance a cup of water on. You want to keep that as you twist. Draw your belly in and start to twist from the heart, from the upper back towards the left. And then maybe you take the left arm up to the sky. Exhale, release. Bring your left hand down in front of your face. Take your right hand to your low back. Level out the pelvis and see if you can keep that. Draw the belly in. Twist from the upper back, right behind the heart. And then maybe right arm. Exhale, release. Toe your feet in slightly. And then come into a squat, halasana. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Hook your legs into your arms. Press your arms into your legs. Lift your heart. Breathe. Go ahead and release. Come to sit and then lay down on your back. Hug your knees into your chest. You do another little massage here in the low back. Bring both feet down to the ground, knees bent, feet parallel. Cross your left ankle over top of the right thigh. You could stay just like this, or you can pick up your right foot and interlace your hands behind your right thigh or on top of your shin. Drop your shoulders back and down. Notice the distribution of weight on your sacrum and see if you could level that out. The tendency is for the pelvis to shift and weight to fall over to the left. See if you could anchor down through the right side. And breathe. Go ahead and release the clasp of your hands. Bring your right foot down to the ground and then slide your left leg on top of your right and come into eagle here, where you're taking your left foot and wrapping it behind your right calf. Take your arms out to a T or to cactus. And as you exhale, drop your knees over to the right. Take your gaze out over the left shoulder. Inhale back up to center, unwind the legs, bring your feet back to parallel, and we'll switch sides. Cross your right ankle over the top of the left thigh. You could stay just like this, or pick up your left foot and interlace your hands behind your left thigh or on top of your shin. Notice the weight distribution of the sacrum anchored into the left side of the low back a little more. When you're here, can you notice and observe so much can be revealed about ourselves on our mats, the responses that we have to and during our yoga practice can shine a light of awareness into our thought processes and our go-to mechanisms. Go ahead and release, bring your left foot down to the ground, slide your right thigh on top of your left, and you could stay just like that, or you could wrap the foot behind your calf, finding those eagle legs, and take your arms out to cactus or T. Take a breath in and exhale, drop your knees over to the left, gaze up over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, unwind the legs. Hug your knees into your chest. And then we'll take some knee circles here. You'll bring the palms of your hands to your kneecaps with your fingers pointing down towards your toes. Draw your knees into your chest, then take the knees apart and wide, circle them away and back together. Couple of these. And then the next time you draw the knees in, you'll switch direction. You'll take the knees together and away from the body, and then move them apart and wide and draw them back in towards your chest. Plug your knees into your chest once again. Keep the right knee tucked in, extend the left leg long. We'll come into another knee down twist. So you'll take your left hand to your right knee, right arm out to the side, breathe in, exhale, twist. But this time you have the option to take a cattail variation where you could bend your left knee, that straight leg on the ground, and then reach for your foot or your ankle, like a cat grabbing its tail. Release the clasp of your foot if you have it. Inhale back to center. Extend your right leg to meet your left. And then second side, put your left knee into your chest. Take your left knee in your right hand, left arm out to the side. Inhale, exhale, twist. Pause here, and then you can bend your right knee, and maybe that's far enough. You can reach back for your foot or your ankle. Release the bind if you have it. Inhale, come back through center. Hug both knees into your chest. Find happy baby here. Take the knees wide, soles of the feet up towards the sky. Grab the pinky toe, edges of the feet or your ankles. Hug your knees into your chest. And if there's any other pose or movement that your body needs at this time, you can take it before Shavasana. Otherwise, you can begin to move into your final relaxation pose. Let your feet gently open to the sides. Have your arms down by your sides with your palms face up. Take a deep breath in. Let it go with a sigh. Letting go of the mind's attachment to the story of your practice, the story of your day. Allowing yourself to deeply relax and to let go. Letting your mind take a break from observing the world. Giving yourself permission to stop observing the mind, observing the world. And instead to just be, to drop down and back into yourself, into that wellspring of stillness, into your own heart, and fully surrender into Shavasana. And slowly begin to deepen your breath. Calling all of your awareness back into your body. Make any subtle, gentle movements that feel good on the body. When you're ready, hook your knees into your chest. Roll to your right side and make your way back up to find a comfortable seat. When you come to sit, keep your eyes closed. Drawing your awareness inward. And take a moment to honor this practice. Practice of witnessing, of observing, becoming aware of our own mind. In the process of doing this, excuse me, we can find the pathway back to ourselves. Bring your hands together at heart center. Call back your intention that you said at the beginning of class. Feel free to modify or change it to carry with you off your mat and back out into the world. And we'll end our class and seal in our intentions. Final cleansing breath. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Gently bow your head to your heart. The light within me recognizes and honors this very same light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for your practice. Oh, geez. Let me unmute you. Thank you so much, Carol.
There you are. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
You too. Have a great week.
Bye.